One of the big hits last year in the racing season might have been kind of unexpected. It was a vintage car race with Indy cars, sports cars, some of the coolest cars of all time from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, hosted by this man, Tony Parella, who went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and put this on. And when we first heard about this, we thought, oh, I don't know. We'd love to have a Goodwood over here, but is this going to? And of course, you had something like 800 cars, and everybody raved about it for 2 months. So first of all, congratulations. Secondly, just talk about, were you confident this thing was going to be a big deal like it turned out to be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're giving people for a chance to race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I wasn't worried at all about getting enough cars. We actually ended up with 714 race cars on the track, ranging from the early 1900s right up to relatively modern day prototypes and everything in between. But what was really amazing is we had over 1,300 requests for invites, so we couldn't possibly accommodate that. 700 was more than we probably should have taken, but I think the fans truly had an amazing time, and I know the drivers did.
We were talking to Al Unser Jr. yesterday, and he said that really stoked his fire about driving cars again. He had a great time, and you had Parnelli and Uncle Bobby, and they were there. But you had guys like Buddy Lazier and Scott Goodyear and Derek Dale. You had all these different guys from different generations that got to race, and I think that there was just a great connection with the young and the new. It just seemed like that kind of tied everybody together.
Oh, it really did. We did something. I mean, first of all, for a fan to come out and do a fan walk and walk right up to Al Unser Jr. and introduce themselves, or Parnelli Jones was so active as a Grand Marshal, Uncle Bobby, Janet, all of them were there, and I think they're all going to come back. We're really excited about the momentum that it's building, and we put the Pro-Am race that we put on to put an Al Unser Jr. in a Corvette and a Scott Goodyear in a Mustang and a Lynn St. James in a Mustang and Willie T in a Corvette. It just, watching them slug it out on the road course, it really was neat. And, I kind of tried to calm them before the event. This is a show. We don't have to go right to the edge. I don't think they listened.
Of course they didn't listen. Now, talk about this year, when you're coming back to Indy and the rest of your schedule.
Well, we'll be back here at the Brickyard the 11th through the 14th of June. We're planning on doing a Pro-Am again, which will be a neat deal. And we got some really special pieces coming. We're doing a tribute to Jimmy Clark. We're having a huge pace car display in the plaza. There'll be at least, I would say, 600 race cars. We're going to do oval exhibitions. I'm bringing even a bigger former 500 field back. This event should be fabulous, but SVRA as a whole is running 18 events this year. We're running from Sebring, Florida, Watkins Glen to Sonoma, California. We're putting on an event in Coronado on the Navy base. We're running up in Portland, Mid-Ohio, Road America, down in Circuit of the Americas, our national championship, and the F1 course at COTA. So, it's this thing is really becoming part of mainstream motorsports, which was always the goal.
Which tells me right away that people aren't so excited about the future, or the present and the future, because there's so many spec cars, and people love the fact it's what we used to really. That's what made us all fall in love with racing, was the Novi and the twin engine Porsche and the birdcage Maserati and all the cool cars from the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when nothing's the same, you don't have any two cars that look alike at our events, and in the fact that the fans can walk right up to the cars. We printed out, we made hero cards, what we called, for like a baseball card size of every car, and the kids were racing through the paddocks collecting 700 baseball cards that had, some data about the different racers and race cars, and the kids typically can get right in a race car, get their picture taken. The drivers are so accommodating, unlike a professional event where they can't possibly let the fans run through. I think people really had a good time. The feedback that I got from the fans of Indianapolis, repeatedly heard this is the best event I've ever been to at the track, which was a little silly when you consider what's going on with the 500 all these years. But nonetheless, I think it really was a fan favorite. We're going to have Blood, Sweat, and Tears at Saturday night's concert, so a little more nostalgia. We're going to have a huge fireworks show. I think we give the fans a huge bang for the buck to come out and just enjoy it. Sit on the viewing mounds or walk through the paddocks or pick a spot that you like to view the track from and just enjoy it.
Awesome. Tony, we wish you a lot of continued success, and just remember, he only had to pay Uncle Bobby $5,000 appearance money. He got him cheap. Robin Miller for RACER. No, he'd like to have Bobby doesn't need any deal money. He just likes to sign autographs and have a good time.
He was such an ambassador for the sport. And, if you think about it, all of those pros, we had 30 total, of which 24 drove, flew in. Now, we helped with the travel, but they did this simply because I took the proceeds from the Pro-Am that the amateurs paid and donated it to the museum. They came in just for the fans. They did this, and on this day of professional sports, you want to show me another sport that former players would give up a weekend just to interact with the fans to say thank you and pay tribute to the museum and the Speedway. Who does that today?
Not very many people. So good luck this year, and thanks for bringing it on here. We'd like to have a good one someday, and I think you might be our man.
We're working on it.
All right, Robin Miller for RACER.com. Thanks for watching.